Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today, we're going to be talking about product pricing, specifically how to properly price your product for e-commerce and how to set that retail price so that we can get your product up and running on the California small business marketplace. My name is Chris Ponzillo, and I'm a business consultant with the Small Business Development Center based out of Orange County, California, and housed at Cal State Fullerton. Today's agenda, frankly, in this session, we're going to go over how to price your product. Like we said, some of the items we're going to be covering are determine your product cost, evaluating your competition, determining your margin, and then, yes, ultimately setting your retail price. As we begin to dive into figuring out your price, I want to get you fully prepared. There's some numbers you need to know, some research you're going to need to do, and some key business decisions you're going to make. And all of that starts by first taking a look at the numbers. Well, what numbers? First and foremost, your product cost. If you're sourcing or manufacturing the product, what's your total cost for the product? The packaging, the inserts, the delivery of the product from the manufacturer to your warehouse or fulfillment center. If your product's one that you're physically creating, we want to pull together your material cost, gather your receipts, add up how much goes into making each product. If you buy supplies and they cover the creation of multiple products, we want to divide up that cost between the products that are created, because we want to get as close as possible and as detailed as possible so that we know exactly how much we're spending per product. With that in mind, when you're physically creating a product, we want to consider labor cost. Also, if you're spending time inserting, handwritten notes into packaging or tissue paper and, getting the fulfillment done, we want to make sure that your time is considered in this. Your time's valuable, and you'll want to make sure you build that into the cost, especially because we're planning on our business growing, and you very well may be hiring someone or a team of someone to take over those duties. So set an hourly rate for the time that's being spent and determine how many products that can be made in an hour. Divide your hourly rate by the number of products, and that's going to give us our labor cost per item. And I want you to write that down because we're going to use it in a little bit to put into a calculator to arrive at our price. This next one is a bit of a business decision, sales strategy, if you will, but one you need to consider how you're going to handle as you're pricing, and it's your shipping cost. Are you going to charge shipping? Are you going to mark up shipping? Are you going to provide free shipping? These decisions can be determined by how you position your brand, what your competition is doing, what your sales strategy is. But, regardless if you charge the customer shipping or not, you'll be paying a cost to ship the product from your warehouse to the customer. And you want to determine what that price is. So, know the weight, know the dimensions, cost it out at USPS, UPS, FedEx, DHL, whichever your carrier of choice is. And you want to be able to get that number. Couple of other costs I want you to consider are the transaction fees that your platform or your payment processor is going to be charging you per transaction. For the California Shop Small Marketplace, you'll see transaction fees of 2.9% per transaction, as well as a 36 cents per transaction fee. For every order placed on your site, you're going to see these fees. What's this mean? So it means if you sell a product for $10, the 2.9% translates into 29 cents. You add the 36-cent transaction fee on that for your $10 transaction, you're going to be paying the platform a 65-cent fee. The small business marketplace will also have a $15 a month fee associated with it, which can be paid in a yearly amount at $125, which would save you $55 a year. But for the first 6 months of this program, you only pay the transaction fee. There's no platform fee at this time. We're going to open up the calculator that we've built and plug in these numbers in a few minutes to get our total cost of product, as well as, we'll get to where our sales price is and our profit margin. But before we get there, we need to figure out one more key number, and that's our markup. Now, there's no standard markup a business should use. In fact, this number varies by industry and the types of goods being sold, and what you intend to sell could, be totally different than the person next to you, what they're intending to sell. So you've probably experienced this when you're shopping, markups on high-end fashion items like watches or purses are much larger than markups on, household consumables like toilet paper, bleach, and dish soap. These markups are never the same. So to begin to figure out where you should, position your margin at, you need to do some research into your industry and see how it's pricing. More importantly, know what your customers are expecting to pay for the type of product that you're selling. So look at your competition, look at their prices on similar products. You already have a general idea of how much the components of your product cost. Look at the brands that sell similar products to yours, match up the ones that are similar to yours, and look at their selling price. Do this across the competitive landscape, and you can determine not only the average price of the products you're selling, but you can get a pretty accurate idea of the markups that they are incorporating. Now, in e-commerce, we can come up with, most successful businesses are operating at a markup of 65 to 75%. Could be more, could be less. Again, depends on the nature of your product. Once you take a look at the competition, consider what the customer is willing to pay. Also consider how you want to position yourself as a brand. Do you want to be a luxury brand or a high end? Are you a discount or low price brand? Are you providing a curated selection of products and educating customers and providing additional value? Are you producing your product in a way that increases the perceived value? Are you associated with some type of cause or a give back program that, we need to figure that donation into the cost of goods as well? But is that, creating more value to your customers as well? Knowing where your brand fits in the competitive landscape will help you, set this, your margins and figure out your pricing. Now, let's take a look at some numbers and see how they fit into the pricing calculator that we've developed for the program. So I've always found that giving an example is a better way to work through a product than just throwing out arbitrary numbers. So I'm going to do that. When I woke up this morning, my dog literally would not get out of bed. So with my boxer, Adrian Balboa, in mind, let's say we're selling dog beds. Our newly created dog bed brand, Balboa Dog Bed, sells ergonomic bamboo, memory foam, cooling gel, copper-infused dog beds for the discerning pooch. We've done our due diligence, looked at our competition, determined the best material to make our products out of so that our fine, furry friends can sleep as comfortably as possible at night. And now we're talking to the manufacturer to place our order for our first 1,000 units. Those first 1,000 units are going to cost us $12 a unit. That $12 gets us a dog bed, vacuum sealed, in a bag inside a shipper with the instructions. It's one color print on the shipper. We made some modifications. We added an insert for social media so that everyone can know how to follow us and share pictures of their pooches on their dog beds. We added 4 colors to our printing on our box so we can show off our brand. And we're throwing in a bamboo memory foam doggy pillow to keep our pup in proper ergonomic position while she sleeps. That insert added 22 cents. The additional color on the box was $1.65. While the pillow is frankly priceless, it's another $3 in cost, which brings our total cost of the product to $16.87. But wait, there's more. We also need to account for the shipping cost of getting those 1,000 units from our manufacturer to our warehouse, which our estimated cost was $2,100 or $2.10 a unit, which brings our total cost to $18.97. So let's jump on over here to our calculator, in which you can see there's a link below this video that'll let you get in here. Make sure when you get in here that you either you go to File and you download a copy or to Excel, or you make a copy for yourself. That way, the numbers that you plug in here are things that you can save. So when we come in, we want to put in our cost of $18.97. We don't have any labor costs because, it's coming in a shipper box, good to go, and we're all set for that. Shipping, we're expecting shipping on this because it is a large bed to be a bit high. On higher price shipping items, we're going to pass this cost straight through to the customer. So we're not going to put a shipping cost in there. If you are intending to, give free shipping, you do want to put a number in here. We've also baked in the percentage transaction fee as well as the 36 cents per transaction fee. Now, as you can see on the side, we get to our total cost of the product, which is $19.88 with fees. But now we need to, figure out what our margins are going to be, what that markup's going to be, so we can get to our sales price. So margin. As discussed, our canine recumbent is a higher end product only available to the most discerning of pets and their owners. So we want to compare ourselves to similar brands. And frankly, there are a lot of them out there with dog beds, and a lot of them with features and components very similar to the ones we discussed. Sealy has a dog bed. Casper has a dog bed. Purple has a dog bed. Well, heck, even My Pillow has a dog bed. And when we went looking at competition, we saw there's a lot of it out there, not only brands, but also curated collections at places like Chewy.com, BigBarker.com, PetSmart, Petco, something called K9Ballistics.com. And we're even finding them on Walmart, Wayfair, Target, eBay, etc. But if we're just getting started and for the purposes of this evening, one good place to start looking for competition is the same place that 65% of all shoppers start looking for products, and that's on Amazon.com. And so we went over to Amazon.com and we, searched in dog beds. And as we, started scrolling through dog beds, we find that they range from $18 all the way up to $140 just on the first page. And, that's quite the range. So as we went through, we kind of looked at ones that had a lot of reviews, meaning they were selling well, ones that had features similar to ours, and ones that were in the same size range as ours. And we came up with several, everything from, the dog's bed at $140 to Bedshore to, two Bedshores actually, and BarkBox, as well as Western Home. And these prices range from $95, $44, $59, $139. Now, I would love to say that the bed I had in mind is, comparable to the dog's bed here, but frankly, the dog's bed's got some crazy good features that are beyond what I was thinking. We take an average of the ones that are in the same range. It comes out to around $66, which gives us some adjustment for wiggle room. So with that in mind, knowing it's at $66, we can go back to our calculator. And if you recall, I told you there was a average of around a 65% markup. And if we put that in, that would put our price at $56.80, which is pretty much in line with the Bedshore. If we do the higher end at $75, we come in around $79.52, which is on the higher end, but not quite up at the price of the BarkBox, which could be justifiable because the BarkBox does not have the memory foam bamboo pillow. Now, which one should you go with? Well, the answer is whichever one fits your brand the best that your customer's willing to spend. Ultimately, your customers are going to let you know what the best price to sell your product is, and you're going to go through variations. You're going to go through different prices as you test. You're going to make adjustments, and you're going to run different campaigns to ultimately work at increasing your conversion. One other thought to go over in with pricing, if you're trying to figure things out in your head and you don't have the calculator, one thing that I always like to do when I consider price is I have a 4X rule. What's 4X mean? Means if I, bought a product for $10, I want to sell it at 40. I want to pay 4 times the cost. I want to sell it for 4 times the cost of what I paid for it. In our example, that would actually put our price at around $75, which is kind of where we came in at on the calculator on the higher end. The thought behind this is with the 4X, one covers the cost of the product I just sold. One covers the cost of bringing in a new product. The third X is what I spend on marketing. And the fourth X is what I pay to my team or put in my pocket. Now, not an exact science and not as accurate or as all inclusive as the calculator, but I would encourage you, to think this way because it gets us in the right mindset to prepare for the future and for growth, and to then the right mindset to spend marketing dollars and drive traffic. Because unfortunately, web presence and websites are not, field of dreams. If we build it, they will come. We do have to either make the effort socially or financially through ads to get people to find out about us and notice our site. So our team of consultants, we'd be more than happy to assist you with figuring out pricing for your products. We would love for you to schedule a one-on-one session with us at no cost and no catch to you. You can see the link on the screen for that. Final thoughts, know your cost, know the fees your platform's charging, know your competition, and above all, know your customer. This will let you start from the most informed position possible to deliver a quality product at a price your customers are willing to pay.